Well, hello everybody. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. It is Friday evening. I can't remember the last time I did any form of stream on a Friday evening. It must have been when Leeds were playing at some point. I feel it feels like Sheffield Wednesday at some point, maybe when playing on a Friday night, maybe. Right, we're back here to talk everything Leeds, the weekend, everything that's going on at this moment in time. If you didn't see the stream this morning, we did one with our good friend Jimmy. Make sure you check that out. And just to iron out the day's fantastic content, we've got Mr. David Brown, fresh from his coaching duties. How are you doing today, Dev?
Yeah, I'm good. Hopefully, still feeling good at 2:30 tomorrow afternoon. But yeah, been a good week. Definitely a good week for Leeds. Obviously, last weekend we were the only team in the top six not to win, and then the midweek full-on championship, we're the only team in the top six to win. So plenty of twists and turns. But yeah, all good, mate. You?
Yeah, man, all good. As maybe you know, and everybody else, I went to Dublin, mate, and extended that time. I went to Galway and then Dublin again and then Belfast. So really extended my time out there. And I just want to apologise to everybody because Andy said to me contribution to a new watch. Because I don't know if you saw there, Brownie, but this morning I had us going on a 9 a.m. stream instead of a 9 p.m. stream. So that was set up. So we had about 200 people in this morning waiting. So yeah, I don't think people were happy this morning. So apologies to everyone.
I didn't realise there was 2 9s.
But mate, what a week! What a week in the Leeds United sphere. Maybe we thought that Pompey play up was going to be a tough one. I certainly did. It just had a bit of a minging hoodoo over it. I don't know, just something about going down there and then being well up for it. I have to say, Brownie, I don't know if you went down, mate. We've not had a conversation really about it, but it was very disappointing, wasn't it, mate? We had five chances. Obviously, you know, you expect at least one of them to go in. The positive was, as me and you were chatting off air, we created chances, but it was a real shame for Leeds. They were right up for it. Nothing to play for, really. 3 of the main players out, and Brownie, just to cap it off, they had Marlon Pack at centre-back. Didn't really test him, did we?
And Buffon in net.
Who turned into prime Elon Melee the other night, didn't he?
Oh my god, just full on Leeds, isn't it? I mean, we got Buffon in net for Portsmouth at the weekend, and then he's like bloody Marco Silvestri, Kiko Castillo, and Melie rolled into one the other night against Plymouth. It's what we've had to deal with, and what we have to do with all year with everyone's cup final, whether people like it or not. Is it big old Leeds? Well, we are. Everybody gets right up for it, and it'll be no different tomorrow. QPR, Loftus Road will be packed out, but if they were playing anyone else in the championship, the bottom tier would be empty behind the goal like it normally is, and all the way around the ground you'd see nothing but seats. But tomorrow, I imagine it'll be full, and this is the thing that Leeds have got to get themselves past. Expect another tricky game. I think when we did that scores predictor a couple of weeks ago, I had us down for drawing at Portsmouth, so we all saw it as being a bit of a banana skin. But yeah, it was really disappointing to go and do that off the back of a really good 7 points against West Brom, Sheffield United and Sunderland, and then we throw that in. But you're right, we had enough chances to win 3 games of football, I think. And listen, people have their conspiracy theories and whatnot. It's a Stonewall penalty and a completely different game. If Pirot tucks it away after 9 minutes, 1-0, I think becomes 2, 3, 4 quite comfortably. But them sort of things aren't going our way lately. I mean, I'm astounded that there was no yellow cards the other night against Millwall. Ref must have had 50 quid on no booking points, I think, because my word. And it seems to be the way in recent games at Leeds. Teams can just seem to do what they want. And yeah, there's been some, what's the right word, wild decisions lately in Leeds United games. I think back to going to Coventry and Aronson's bursting into the box, about to shoot. Yeah, he'd probably hit Leicester with it, but he gets smashed in the back. Nothing given.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. Yeah,
it just seemed like that's what I mean. There's that many decisions in these games.
That was mental, that one, wasn't it?
That we forget about how many there actually has been.
Yeah, That was whiplash territory, that, wasn't it? It was straight in the back. But yeah, the other night, Peru, another example of it, offside. It's just never offside. And what a wonderful goal. We were denied, brilliant goal. Such a shame.
Sometimes in live play, you think, have a quick look at linesman before you celebrate, but there was just no sort of like any of the players even had a shadow of a doubt about an offside. Everybody went running over into the corner. Great play. And I think it'd have been one of them in the Premier League where the lines would have been out, but the linesman's seen an offside like he saw at Coventry. Same bloke, which is interesting.
Is indeed. Get a few comments in. Good morning, both. Yep, not good morning. My bad, Steve. Oi, Bab says, everyone listens when Brownie speaks. What a blow. Hope we'll have a beer with you lads in Plymouth at the end of the season. Yeah, mate, I'm actually at a wedding in Reading. I'm a poet and I don't even know it. The day before. So it's going to be...
I'd be ashamed to miss the wedding, right?
No, but she's like to me. She's like... well, we can't, what we're going to do the next day. And I've just said to her, I was like, we have to book another hotel. So we have to book another night because
I'll get divorced anyway. Just go to the game.
Yeah, I'm not missing it. I'll do what you're...
I'm joking, by the way.
Yeah. No, don't worry, mate. She's not, she won't see this. She can just hear it. She's not doing a your brother. And we all know what your brother's about with stuff like that.
Mate, my brother missed my own dad's wedding to go to the Leeds game. So...
Yeah, if you don't know, Brownie's younger brother, who's in my year at school, is a Leeds nutter, even more than the lad next to me.
Yeah,
Matt, go on.
Missed my Leeds brother for the Bristol Rovers game, the promotion day. My dad's wedding, sorry. My brother missed my dad's wedding for the Bristol Rovers promotion game, and he missed my cousin's wedding and a week in Croatia for Wigan away.
Yeah. Committed.
Good game, though. We won 2-0.
There you go. Was that the game actually where you had all the Leeds players just charging back? Do you remember it was clipped up under Bielsa?
Yeah.
Was that one? Yeah.
That one, yeah. Bamford scored. That's how long ago that was. I think it was his last goal.
Christ. Yeah, mate. Go on then. So Matt's obviously part of the Patreon as well. Matt's just said, hi lads, does Brownie think this is a must-win or draw? Okay. I think it's an interesting one, really, because I think a win absolutely catapults us, doesn't it? It's like one of those where you kind of look at the last remaining fixtures and you think this and probably Borough in terms of away fixtures are the tough, I won't say really tough ones, but they're the challenging ones. Obviously, Elias Scher is out for them, another key player. We had 3 key players for Pompey out at the weekend. I would say, Brownie, this QPR game, it's not a night game. I know we've not got a good record when it comes to early kickoffs, but to be honest, down at Loftus Road under the Sky cameras at 5:30 or 8:30, I don't want that again. I do not want that again. I want just get it out of the way before the Sheffield derby as well. Get it out of the way, get a win, and just run out of London. But yeah, I guess the context is it's not. It wouldn't be cataclysmic if we got a draw, but still, it'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Must win, probably. I mean, there's 4 home games left, 5 away. Is that right?
5
4
away,
home games takes us to 91. Couple of away wins, 97. So I wouldn't put it in the must-win category, but like you say, to get the wins on the board as quick as possible. Obviously beneficial and heaps loads of pressure on them. That would put us 5 and 7 points clear of Sheffield United and Burnley, and without them kicking a ball. It's a chance for us to go first because obviously last weekend we went last, and obviously we faltered going last. So yeah, I think it'd be nice to put that 12:30 sort of like curse to bed as well, and obviously QPR away to bed because I went there last year, we got beat 4-0. I went there the year before, or it might have been the year before that. It was 1-0 when Bamford missed the penalty. It doesn't seem to be a happy hunting ground for us there. So it'd be nice to put a few curses to bed, I think. But must win. It's not must win until it's mathematically needing to be done. There's always another game around the corner to sort it out. But
I guess it's international break, and you kind of don't want to go into the international break on the back of a loss because it puts more pressure on us down at Swansea, doesn't it, at home when we get back, I guess. But
Yeah, definitely. Going into the international break with 8 to go, top of the league, puts us in a really good place. And going into the international break, if it's 5 points, 4 points, 3 points, if we can increase that gap again, it just nudges ourselves a little bit closer to promotion. But win, lose or draw tomorrow, I still don't see us not being in that top 2.
Yeah, you can. Well, you're kind of looking at a situation as well where Burnley have got Swansea. I think Burnley will be fine down there. I think they'll just have too much quality. Sheffield United Wednesday just well. Yeah, I'll speak on Sheffield Wednesday, but I'm just not 100% sure they have the quality to be able to override Sheffield United. I can see it being tight again. Can still see a Sheffield United win, but that's probably the one where it's more likely to be a draw. Speaking to Jim this morning, and he is a little bit more nervous about his form goes out the window. It's tight. The game last time out, they had so much more quality on the pitch, Sheffield United, and it was only a 1-0, and Sheffield Wednesday did miss a couple of chances as well. So
1-0 Campbell, shock.
Yeah, I know, another 1-0
yeah,
Campbell.
I mean, did you watch them the other night? At one point in the first half, they had 18% possession, and I'm sat there thinking, how are they only 2 points in it?
I thought Bristol City were probably the better team overall.
100%, 100%. And I remember messaging my brother. My brother was like, it was when the lad missed that header from about half a yard out.
Yeah.
My brother messaged me saying, I can't wait for Campbell to score in second half and it go 1-0 Sheffield United. And then it happened and he just put so boring. But they're finding a way to grind results out at Sheffield United, so fair play to them. But I think obviously he was right this morning. Form does go out the window in them derby games. Look at us when we're playing Yorkshire derbies. The whole occasion amplifies even more. I remember going to Huddersfield last year. Dear me, I thought we were playing at Wembley. There were that many Huddersfield fans there. And then the next week, they were COVID again.
I think they got tanked the game after, didn't they?
Yeah. So I think Sheffield Wednesday will be well and truly up for it. They've got a fantastic result at Norwich, being 2 goals down and coming back to win 3-2. And that was on the back of winning at Plymouth away. So they've got back-to-back wins, Sheffield Wednesday going into it. So they're in good form themselves and an outside chance of the playoffs. So hopefully we do the business ourselves, but that's epitomises it. That's all we need to keep doing, do the business ourselves, and it doesn't really matter what the other teams do. So yeah, must win. Not in my mind, but every win would be nice. I'd just like us to go and do what we did in that BLCA when we come back from COVID. We got turned over at Cardiff and then went on a run of winning nearly every game until the end of the season. I think we drew with Luton, and that was us done. So hopefully we can kick on. And looking at the fixture list, I think 10th is our toughest game still left to play, Middlesbrough.
No, we've got Bristol City, haven't we? And they're beating Norwich at the minute.
Yeah, of course, they've pushed themselves into the playoffs. Yeah, you're right. But so 2 teams in the top 10. The rest,
I think they'll be tricky, won't they? They were good when we played them at Ashton Gate, weren't they? Bristol City, they were really decent.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes when I say teams in the bottom half, sometimes they're the tricky ones. They've got nothing to play for at the end of the season. They can just go throw caution to the wind. But me with conspiracy theories, I've not let it go unnoticed that we played Wednesday night and then first game Saturday morning either.
Sky Sports, mate. Sky Sports Leeds. That's it, innit? But you will. Arthur says we'll beat QPR tomorrow. 2 wins in the last 13 in early kickoffs. Yeah, I mean that. I don't think that's a thing. I really don't. But yeah, there does need to be a bit of a. What you, as you know, as a coach, Brownie, former manager. What do you put that down to? Because for me, is it tempo? Is it just not being up for it on those mornings? I mean, what is it? I mean, can it be as simple as a manager's team talk? I mean, what could it be? Because there is a bit of a 2 wins in 13 early kickoffs for a team like Leeds United. We're not a mid-table team. We're top of the division.
Well, I think obviously the run's not great. I mean, there's no other team in the division with that many 12:30 kickoffs, to be honest. We've nearly doubled everybody else for 12:30 kickoffs, which I think is scandalous. But if you think of a 3 o'clock kickoff, you get into the ground for 1:30, 1:45. You're having your pre-match meal about 12-ish. 11:30 meeting. So you've got 3.5 hours before kickoff. You're doing all that. If you put that into a 12:30 kickoff, you're having your pre-match meal at 9:30. That's your breakfast.
Do you think sleep as well? Sleeping the night before as well. Probably a lot of them. I mean, you'll know as well. There's a couple of footballers, semi-pro as well, that I'm aware of. Some of them are popping sleeping pills. Because they're that amped up for the game. Adrenaline's rushing through them, and they know they have to be up early. Brownie, you know what it's like when you need to get up for something early. Sometimes you struggle the night before, don't you? And if you're doing that continuously and you're having to be pre-match meals at 9 o'clock, it's not ideal, is it?
It's not. I mean, you have your breakfast is your pre-match meal, which is just completely, just wrong completely to even begin with. But you're right. In them 12:30 games, they've been slow. They've been lethargic. They've been not as much tempo in them, and it's got to be a contributing factor to me. It's got to be sleep.
Do you think it's a good thing for both teams though? Because I thought Portsmouth were right up for it last weekend. Different bit away as though. I guess it's different bit away from home as well. But then you kind of look. You point back to West Brom as well, where West Brom seemed a little bit more up for it.
Yeah, totally. It's the same for both teams, absolutely. But I don't know.
Weird one, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it is. Is it just a coincidence? Because you flip it. We played Sheff Wednesday at 12:30. Solomon scored after 3 minutes, and we were on fire for the first part of the game. So maybe it's just us looking for reasons, and it's just a complete coincidence. If we're 1-0 down after 10 minutes tomorrow, I'll be saying it's asleep.
Definitely. Chris, welcome, Chris. Helen says it's a must not lose for me. I think you're right there, Helen. I think, losing the game wouldn't be the worst case scenario. I mean, you kind of got to look at the other teams as well. But I think form wise, I don't think Leeds, look, you look at the results. We beat Sheffield United, we beat Sunderland, we drew to West Brom, we lost to Portsmouth. But you look at those 3 games in isolation, the West Brom, the Sunderland, the Sheffield United, it's a good points return. But for me, Brownie, I think there's just been, and even the other night, and I think second half was a lot better because we're in such control. But I think performance standards, and we were speaking about this earlier on, they have dipped. I think there's been a bit of a noticeable dip for me across the 90, and we look at the games, like let's say 5 games prior to that, Leeds' level, including the Cardiff 7-0, was up there. We were just so in control. And I understand it's the quality and calibre of the opposition, Sheffield United, Sunderland, West Brom, Pompey away. But I do think the performance levels have dipped a little bit, mate. And we were talking about it earlier on. Now it's just a 9-game grind, isn't it? It's 9 cup finals. It's not about performances. It's just about getting those results.
I think when you look back to that West Brom, Sheffield United, Sunderland patch, I think we played Sheffield United on the Monday and then West Brom on the Saturday early. So that's 2 games in, 5 days?
Yeah.
Against Sheffield United away and West Brom at home. I think the scheduling for Leeds has been absolutely nothing short of diabolical. I think we're being shafted left, right and centre. And when you look at Sheffield United, they've played Tuesday and then they're the Sunday game.
Yeah.
But we've played Wednesday and we're the Saturday dinner time game.
Yeah, Saturday
morning. I sound like Jurgen Klopp, but as a one-off, you ride with it. But it's not been a one-off with Leeds. How many times have we played 12:30 this season on a Saturday after playing the Wednesday game or do you know what I mean? The midweek game. It always seems to land where Leeds are the early kickoff.
Hasn't there been another one? Is it another one moved? Is it Preston? Has that been moved? Or I think it was. I'm sure it's Preston.
For 12:30. So Sky highlight how bad we are at 12:30 kickoffs after the Portsmouth game. And then that very next week, we've got another 12:30 kickoff game. It's, I don't know. It sounds, from the outside, it sounds sour grapes, or it sounds like an excuse. It's not an excuse. We're top of the league and we're the best team in the league. It's fact. We just seem to be getting shafted with when we're playing. I mean, Portsmouth away at 12:30. You having a laugh?
Plymouth as well, 12:30. Smash the like for you, Connor. It says Phil. Reese says that Frey bloke is the only one that worries me. I have no faith in Sheffield Wednesday, so it's a must-win game. versus QPR. I think in terms of the must win, I think us going down there and winning Brownie. Similarly, I mean, Sheffield United went down there, the patched up squad. We know QPR probably going to be a little bit more up for it tomorrow, it feels, than what they were against Sheffield United. But they did beat Sheffield United, didn't they, mate? They beat QPR down there, which was a massive win with a patched up squad. I think we've got more than enough to go down there and win. And I think it's just having this superstitious look at QPR until, from a period of Kemar Roof scoring a hat-trick down there in 2017, there's not winning down there since. He's just a little bit, it's weak-minded, mate. I think we've got to go down there, be aggressive and just beat them.
It's in our heads, isn't it, a little bit?
A little bit, yeah.
I think it is in our heads. Nothing would surprise me going down there and winning 3-0. But I just think, and I was saying to this before we came on, us as a fan base were so sceptical and so nervous about getting over the line. At work, chatting with a couple of Sheffield United fans after training tonight, and they've wrote Leeds off. They feel like they're in a battle with Burnley. So it's interesting to see perception from other fan bases. Whereas us, we're like, could get beat by QPR and then we're back into second, or Burnley can win. So yeah, it is really interesting. And I think just us as a fan base just see sometimes things that aren't actually a problem being a problem.
Yeah, no, I get that. Tom says, I don't know if you've seen this as well, Brownie, today. No Elias share is massive for QPR. I think Bithar rivals withdrawing this weekend, then we can have 2 weeks rest. Yeah, and then I can have a chat with the wife. No, I know what you mean. It does feel like it's a massive opportunity with that Steel City derby. And, QPR, Burnley not having the easiest game going down to Swansea, but Elias share out is big. Dembele coming in, I don't think there's going to be that much of a, I don't know. I think Dembele is still a good replacement for Elias Share, but Elias Share is a big profile in that QPR side. And let's be brutally honest. And this is me looking back to last season. That lad absolutely destroyed us. He absolutely destroyed us. And at that point, we were still talking about Leeds potentially having one of the, if not the best midfields in the division. And that game at Loftus Road, Brownie just tore us up, didn't he? So I think I agree with that. And Craig says, do you guys think, this is something I wanted to talk to you about, Brownie as well, and Oibab said something similar about changes, and let's get into it a little bit. So he's been criticised a little bit this week, and I've been one of them. I have to say I think Farke's doing a really good job. He's doing a really good job, and I've been full of praise of him this season, full of praise, because there's nothing really to criticise. I don't think there is. I do, however, think that. Then I'm looking at Dan James the other night and I'm thinking he's almost begging, in my opinion, to be taken off. He's barely running. He's struggling. He's not at the levels we've seen with Dan James. And I even thought at points you're looking at Solomon and he's just looking lethargic. Rothwell, he comes out afterwards and said he's got a stiff knee. And I'm thinking, just be proactive and make the changes a little bit earlier then. Does it concern you a little bit at points, mate? And especially with his comments afterwards saying, he listens to the medical team, but he makes his own judgments, and then he can be criticised afterwards for that. He's not, and that's fair enough in taking ownership for that. For me, it's not a direct criticism on Daniel Farke, but I think we've always maybe had a little bit of an eye on his substitutions. And I do look, Brownie, we always talk, me and you as mates and just as Leeds United fans in general, about the amount he's got on his bench. And I do think sometimes, building up fitness, building up match fitness is absolutely massive. I think it's a difficulty for these substitutions to come on and make this said difference when a lot of them aren't getting these consistent minutes. So what's your take on the old rotation? Because for me, mate, we're going down to QPR. And as an example, Rothwell might have played well the other night, but it's Gruev who's going to be starting.
Subs. Right, firstly, at what point would you have made them? This is a question for people asking for subs. At what point would you have made them? Because at 1-0, if he makes subs... Because I thought we were really on top in that second half, looking like we were going to get a second goal for large parts. It felt like the second's coming, the second. So should he have took the players off them when we had loads of momentum? Personally, I don't think so. You got so much momentum and it just looked like a matter of time. From about 50 to about 75, I thought it just looks like we're going to score. We're going to score. We're going to score. So does he disrupt that momentum? Then when you get past 80, you've got a problem because it's still only 1-0. Then do you disrupt the team that are set? And if he makes subs around 80 minutes and they score, it goes 1-1, all he's getting is, why is he making subs with 10 minutes to go? So the other night, I was the same. James, I thought, dropped a bit of a stinker for his standards. And at around 60, I was thinking, yeah, it needs some freshening up here. But then when it went past that point, we had so much of the ball and so many attacks. I just think it obstructed it. And then you got to a point where you can't make subs with 10 minutes to go. If people are coming on not ready, not at it against Millwall.
That sounds like you think there's a bit of a drop off, and you're a little bit more worried about the subs coming on.
Yeah, absolutely. I went to the Harrogate game. I went to the Harrogate game where Nonto started and where Ramazani started, and all these players, Joseph started. And at times, Harrogate were better. I think there comes to a bit of a trust thing as well with him. Does he trust them enough to put them in? And I think the answer is no.
Really do. Right. Do you think that's right?
Well, who are you taking out? So the subs about the other night, who are we taking off?
Well, I think so. From my perspective, the other night, you'd obviously made his changes, didn't he, from the 86th minute on, which I've never seen him sort of wait that long. And obviously winning the game, so it's different in it. But he brings 5 subs on, done it post 86th, 87th minute. And for me, I don't think there would have been that much of a downgrade with Dan James, even if he took him off the other night in the 60th minute, because he just looked knackered. He looked beat. And I thought at some point as well, Rothwell, and you've just mentioned the fixture congestion, Brownie, as well. I think with Rothwell, for me, he's got to have an eye on QPR. And I understand what you're saying in terms of game management, but it's like, is there going to be such a significant drop off to bring, let's say, Eli Gruev on?
Well, you said sorry, Carl, you said drop off, and you say that they look tired.
Yeah.
First half possession, 55%, 4 shots.
Yeah.
Second half, 67% possession and 14 shots. So I'm not seeing a drop off in that second half. I'm seeing dominance.
Good I thought we were good in the second half. Yeah.
So that's what I mean. So we were so on top, so dominant.
Yeah.
Why change it? If it had been 2-0 after 55-60, I think you see a raft of changes. I think it's purely because it was 1-0. And I think then that comes down to trust on who he's putting in there.
Because, I think whatever we say, it's down to, I don't think, and I am quite surprised at this because maybe unlike Nonto, and I know you've been disappointed in him this season. I know you have, and I understand that, and I think the fan base generally have been upset, like not upset with him, but it's not been a season of which we wanted for Nonto. But I do look at Ramazani, and I know he's had spells, Brownie. I get that he's had spells, and some of the games he's not been good. But even the Pompey game, as soon as he comes on, he puts a lovely floated ball in for Firpo. Firpo should have scored. I just think to myself, 700 minutes across the season, I think Ramazani can be a real big influence in this Leeds side at points. I think if anything, it's let's say if the Solomon was to come off, Ramazani was to come on, I don't think there's really any drop off, to be honest with you. And I think that's kind of where I'm at with it. I think I'd rather preserve Solomon maybe for the QPR game where we've not got that much rest. And I think that's maybe what a few fans are a little bit worried about in terms of maybe just picking up injuries for some of our key players.
Going forward, I agree. I don't think there'd be much of a drop off. Going backwards, I think there's a problem with both of them on either wing. I think you get far more from James and Solomon going the other way. And at 1-0, with 20 minutes to go, when they had one shot second half, Millwall. That's how dominant we were and how much in control. But I do buy we've got another game in 2.5 days from Wednesday night. But you can't risk the points that you've got to play the game that's in front of you. You can't worry about what's round the corner, because if he starts thinking about QPR in the 75th minute against Millwall and Millwall score, I think he's then getting, I think once he's gone past that 70-75, he can't do any. You
Do you think there's something? You know, you're talking defensively. Do you think there's maybe some, because you've seen it, haven't you? Me and you have spoken about it and how good he is. Do you think, let's say if we're just talking about Ramazani, do you think there's a potential that he takes the game completely away from, let's say, a Millwall by scoring maybe a couple of goals and then it's 3-0 and then they're knackered and then on the transition they're getting hit, so we don't really have to worry about us that much defensively? You kill them off with how good you are in attack and making those subs proactively at maybe the 66th minute, maybe.
Yeah, I totally agree. I was saying myself around 60, 65. Come on, something needs to happen here.
Yeah.
But we then started to create so many chances and be on top. And it just felt like a matter of time. And then I think time just quickly got to 75, 80. And then I think, you can't really change it. We've seen it. We've seen it. What game was it? What game? I think it might have been last year. There was a game we were winning 1-0 at home. It can't have been this season. And he made changes and we ended up drawing it. And you think, what? Why are you changing it? We were winning. So I'll have to think about what game it was. But at that point, he's damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. Would you still be wanting the changes if we weren't playing QPR at 12:30? Or is it just that fixture congestion and them looking tired?
Yeah, I think it's a good question. It's a good question. I think the big stat is that we've scored more goals than any other side in the division from substitutions, which is obviously, that's a key stat. I think the only thing I'd say with that, Brownie, is you bring on subs a little bit earlier and you could even get more goals from substitutes. that's kind of where I'm at with it. You are right though in terms of game management, and maybe there's just a bit of worry right now in terms of certain players he trusts seeing us through games. I think on the flip side of things, I'm just a little bit like, with the quality that we've got on the bench and tired legs on the opposition side, I genuinely believe there could be an increased level of player with some of our players that may be a little bit knackered and it's not quite working for them.
It's interesting you say that about where the team that scored the most goals from substitution. So to me, does that not mean he's making the right ones?
Yeah, I'm just saying we could score even more. We could score even more.
I mean, it's great to chat, and obviously every fan's got their opinion, and everybody probably been screaming for subs. And I wanted a couple of changes, freshen up. James did look knackered, but we're talking about a guy who's got to 50 wins quickest in Championship history.
Yeah,
at one club. So he's not doing he's doing all right. He's making.
I'm not criticizing. I think it's just little areas of which, we're saying he's doing a good job, mate. I'm not hammering him at all. I'm just saying.
I get that. I'm just saying. I think we're nitpicking. Yeah. I think we are.
Okay. All right.
But
fair.
It'd be interesting to see what team comes out tomorrow. Picking a Leeds team at the minute is easy.
Yeah.
Picking a Leeds team at the minute is easy, and that's telling me he's just not having them.
Yeah, I agree. Abdul Rahman, thanks for the donation, mate. Really appreciate that. Good evening, Connor and Brownie. We must start on the front foot and play aggressive. I start with Rothwell and Nonso and rest DJ. Can't start slow and get the first goal. I think if we score first, we win 3-0. Regards, Matt Shonska. Thanks, Abdul Rahman. I agree with him. I think it's probably quite similar in terms of
the Portsmouth game last week. If we score that early goal,
exactly. What he's saying is bang on. I think we score that first goal against Portsmouth. I think it's we like you were quite rightly saying. I think it's 2-3, maybe even 4. And those little chances maybe go in there, deflate the goalkeepers, not like Prime Yashin. But it's one of those, mate. I mean, I agree. I think we get that early goal, and I mean, Leeds' record from winning positions is absolutely ridiculous as well, isn't it? So the team are breeding confidence there, 100%. So how would you? I mean, this is a difficult one for me, but I do think, and let us know in the chat as well. Brownie will give his opinion as well. I do personally think that Rothwell as a midfielder, shock I'm going down this route again, but Rothwell as a midfielder is way more complete I absolutely love him. I think we're a lot. I think I notice. I don't know if you do as well, Brownie. I think you get a better Aronson with Rothwell on the pitch, because I think Rothwell driving forward through that midfield gives Aronson just that element of space as well. And I think it's almost like two central attacking midfielders at points on the pitch. And I think that really helps him. I think you see Aronson very, very isolated when Gruev's on the pitch. That's my personal opinion. And I think we don't get that much from Gruev in comparison to Rothwell. If you want to go to QPR tomorrow and have a defensive midfielder in there, I would be looking at bringing a defensive midfielder on after we've taken the lead in the game. Where do you stand with it?
I came away from the game the other night. I said to my brother, Rothwell has to play.
Okay, didn't expect you to say that.
I understand why he only plays at home and Gruev plays away, more compact, harder to beat.
Yeah.
Interestingly, and I know Tanaka scored, I think the conversations, Gruev or Tanaka over the last few games, I think Rothwell has to play. I think Tanaka's levels have dropped a little bit in the last few games.
I agree with that. Completely agree with that. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's not saying he's having stinkers or shockers, but I just think Rothwell has, in the last month or so, just seems to have been the one that's took games by the scruff of its neck and gone after teams. So yeah, for me,
Brownie, do you know what it is with me, mate? Just two points I'd make to that. I think Gruev has started against Sheffield United, and I think he started at Portsmouth, and I think he started in those two games in particular to bring Leeds a little bit of defensive solidity. And I think in both games he's been really poor. I think against Sheffield United he got gobbled up like there was no tomorrow, and I think against Portsmouth he really struggled as well. So that's that. If he's been brought in for that defensive-minded player, I need to see more from him in those games. That's what I kind of worry about tomorrow. I'd rather have a well-rounded, confident Rothwell. Brownie, he's been in this position before, mate. He's been in this position before. He's got a lot of experience when it comes to promotion run as well, and being in these high-pressure games.
Yeah,
I would much rather him in.
I think away from home, Portsmouth, for example, and when we've got beat at Millwall and Blackburn, there are 3 defeats away from home. I think if we start defensively, it gives the other team a bit of a sniff. Do you know what I mean? It can invite them onto us and gives them something to get the teeth stuck in, to get the crowd up and everything. If we start on the front foot and just get after them and get that early goal, game's done. They don't get the crowd behind them. They don't get opportunities left, right, and centre. So for me, I'd be throwing caution to the wind now and just be going for 3 points rather than this, like we did in the playoff at Norwich last season, don't get beat scenario.
A lot of people are saying the same thing though. Like they're saying, look, equally Gruev played excellent at Watford and Coventry, and we were excellent. A lot of people saying Connor, you said he was good against Burnley, and he was very good. I'm just looking at these last 2 away games, and this is the difference. It's like Brownie, I try base it on form a lot. If Rothwell has dropped in the last 5 games, he's dropped a few stinkers, then I kind of look at that and I think, well, maybe he's not in form. It's kind of difficult to play into form at this stage of the season. For me, I've been very complimentary of Gruev this season, very complimentary of Gruev. I think in his last 2, particularly away from home games that he's, well, the 2 particular that I've just mentioned, the Portsmouth and the Sheffield United game, I don't think he's been good. And I think he's been brought in to be that defensive-minded player. So if it's based on a meritocracy right now, I don't think you lose much, especially with that Elias Chair not playing, Rothwell being in the midfield for me at QPR.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd just be going. I mean, we're talking not scared of QPR, but our recent history there is not great. And it's 12:30, and it's London, so I get all the negativity. QPR have lost 4 on the spin.
4.
They've lost 4 on the spin, and they've won 1 in the last 6. So we're not talking about a team that should be coming at us and getting at us. We should be going there and saying, we're top of the league. We're going to spend all our time in your half, and we're not going to let your crowd get behind it, and we're going to enjoy the day. I think the team selection tomorrow will tell us exactly how we're going to approach the game. Would I be surprised if Gruev plays? No.
No, I wouldn't. I think it's more. I think it's more likely, to be honest.
Park is like a German machine, and he's just churning out results, and he's done it very well. And our points average, you can't knock You can't knock our points average. You can't knock how many wins we've got. But at the end of the day, we're 9 games away from a title. And we've got the chance to go 5 clear. I think tomorrow I'd be going for it.
Yeah, and I think that's what Brownie. We've got it in our. And you look at, I think people have made some really good points. You look at the Coventry and Watford games in particular, mate. We were pressing those 2 teams for a minute when we were so aggressive, and I just felt in the Portsmouth game. And look, Sheffield United, Brownie, you were at that game. I was at that game. It was so obvious from the start that the opposition team, in my opinion, was way more. They seemed to be more amped up. Their intensity was higher. The tempo was a level up from Leeds'. I feel like away from home, mate, we just need to get back to that standard of Watford and Coventry, where we were brilliant from the off. We were pressing high. The wingers were getting up. We were recovering the ball.
Gruev started in the Coventry away game.
True. But do you think, Brownie? Do you think there was not just Gruev, of course, but yeah, he was included in the performance, definitely. And he played really well in those games. You have to give him his credit. But I think as a teammate, as a collective, Leeds were just so aggressive from the off, and they've dipped off in those last couple of away games. Even though, look, we bloody beat Sheffield United, but I'm talking about the start of games. The start of games.
I mean, I think the Sheffield United game is a bit of an isolated one because that's a battle. That's not. It was whoever wanted it more, but it wasn't ever going to be pretty. It was going to be hostile. It was a big game. A bit like playoff final games or cup final. They're never good games. They're never really good to watch. They're always very tentative, very pragmatic because it's literally lose and you're done.
Of course.
So I take that one out of it a little bit, but yeah, going back to the question, picking a team to go and win tomorrow, I'd be putting Rothwell in it.
Would you be sticking with everybody else as well? Like not normality resumes.
You know my opinion on Aronson. Talking of Aronson, Tyler Roberts scored his first goal in 2 years at the weekend.
So, would you listen? He was a little bit better the other night. He was a little bit better, but once again, it's not been a good period for him, has it? It's not been a good sort of 4 or 5 games. But he got back into it a little bit the other night, didn't he? He did all right the other night. He was offside for goal, but yeah.
No, he was all right the other night. But honestly, if we had another number 10 at the club, I think they play. And we were for years saying we were square pegs in round holes, and we were sick of it. So at least finally he's putting round pegs in round holes, and he's playing a player in his right position. And he I think he just does too much. He's just running around. It's like a fly that you want to swat. Just stand still.
He's got zero composure, has he? Zero composure, but he's I think it's just got to be that level up again. It's where he's kind of he went through periods this season where he was taking his time a little bit. He wasn't like a headless chicken, but I feel like maybe in the last month, 6 weeks, he's got back to that old style again, and he just needs to take his time a little bit on the ball. A quick look over the shoulder, left and right, and he's just sometimes it's. He
gets into really good. Right, so I don't want to be too harsh on him.
No,
this is how I feel when I'm watching Aronson. Like, if you had a camera on me, I'd be like, "Oh yeah, brilliant." Yeah. Oh. I'd be like that Roy Hodgson gift. You know the one where he's like, brilliant, do so. Lost it. Brilliant. Find a pass, tackled. He does so many good things.
Do you know what it is, Brownie? Brownie, for me, it's his positional awareness is really good. Really, really good in the attacking third. He finds himself in positions of which would be really difficult for a defensive midfielder or a defender to get hold of, because it dragged the centre defender out every single time because he's almost acting as a striker. But for me, mate, his body position, which I always go on about with Gruev, maybe a real bugbear of mine, his open body position is excellent. He's always looking to take it on the half turn. The issue with him is it's that second, third phase. It's his decision making after he's got to that point. So his body positioning is excellent. His his actual getting in and around the area is very good as well. But it's that second phase, it's the strike. I mean, look, we can't be looking at 2025 and 1 assist for a central attacking midfielder. So this is what I'm talking about. I think it's got to be, we've got to raise our standards a little bit as Leeds fans at points, and this has got to be one thing. You know,
I mean, other than Melier, I think he's played the most games.
Yeah, easy.
So you're talking about players being tired. Yeah. He covers a lot of ground and he's done a lot of work. I mean, he's not going to take him out. He'd have done it by now because I think, if I'm being genuinely honest, I think his last good game, was probably Derby away over Christmas time. I think he's really... I don't want this to be an Aronson bashing, and it's turning into one. And Farke's got a lot of things right, but you're number 10 in a team who are top of the league with 70-odd goals. He can't have 1 assist.
No, he can't. And 1 goal.
In 3 months.
Yeah, he's got 1 goal and 1 assist in 2025. So it's, I agree. It's definitely a bit of a void. Go on then, mate. Let's have a look at what's going to happen this weekend then. So we've got Wednesday up against Sheffield United. We've got Swansea up against Burnley.
Come on, Wednesday.
Go on, Wednesday. And then we've got QPR Leeds. So we'll start off tomorrow morning at mid. Are you going down tomorrow? Good lad. Of course you are. How's the trip to Portsmouth, by the way?
Yeah, really fun.
What time did you get up? What time did you get there? And what time did you get back?
The alarm was 3 o'clock in the morning.
Jesus Christ. You're mental. Absolutely mental.
Football's for the fans, though.
Dare I ask how much you spent? Or are you not willing to release that information?
No, just generally, just match ticket, bus ticket. I'm not a drinker, mate. I don't.
No, you're not.
Nah, burger, food, travel.
That's it. All those arduous miles, mate. MW says, Connor lad, message your Instagram page when you're in Ireland. Would have been great to get a quick pint in. Hope Ireland treated you well, mate. It did, mate. There's so many Irish. Brownie, what a community over there, mate. There's absolutely loads of them. There's loads of them. Third biggest club.
Irish in Ireland. Who'd have thought it? Who'd have thought there was loads of Irish in Ireland?
Who'd have thought that, eh? But there's loads of Leeds fans, mate. Honestly, they were a third biggest club in that country. And I was told that by about 800 Irish people when I was over there. So, Tottenham and Arsenal definitely don't have the scene that we've got over there. Or definitely not Man City either. So, right, okay. Stop waffling. QPR Leeds. What we're going with?
2-0 Leeds.
2-0. Okay, I've gone with, I think, either 2-1 or 3-1. Screw it, we'll go with 3-1. It's changing every time now. Swansea Burnley.
Well, the way Burnley have gone this week, they're probably allowed to play Chris Wood. Probably allowed to get whoever they want back in. Give me some other Burnley icons from years gone by that are still playing.
Barnes. Said Barnes.
Yeah, he's there though, isn't he? He's 45 now. He don't count. But yeah, I mean, the rescinding of the card is a shambles. I mean, we get Firpo retrospective ban for looking in the face of a Millwall player, and you've got Burnley's player smashing someone after the game. Red card rescinded. Honestly, so they'll probably have Chris Wood up top.
Robbie Blake's a good one from Jam. Robbie
Blake. Yeah, Jay Rodriguez. I've seen that one. That's a good one. Alan Lennon on one wing.
Go on then. What are you going with? Tom said Leeds 3-1, Burnley 1-1, Blunts 1-1. What are you going with? So we'll go Swansea. So Rick's gone 3-0 Leeds as well. Vidra, says Paul.
Vidra.
The lad who leads.
We're still trying to find him. We're still trying to sign him. Yeah.
How many windows were we linked with him? We could stump up 1.7 mil.
Swansea, they're not doing too bad.
Stinks.
Burnley is so weird. I can't believe that they're still in with a shout. They just seem to draw every game, but seem somehow be on 70-odd points.
I think they've got better. I think they've got a lot better with Edwards coming in. The lad
I'll go 2-1 Burnley.
Yeah, I've got a feeling. So yeah, I think I've gone with 2-0 Burnley for this one. And then the Steel City derby.
2-1 to the Owls.
Come on, Wednesday!
Come on, Wednesday!
Come on, Wednesday!
2-1. I'm gonna go 2-1 Chef Wednesday.
And it's Sheffield Wednesday. 2-1 Sheffield Wednesday. Who's your goal scorers? Windass and Bannon.
We'll say that because they're the only players that I really know.
Terrible football team. Sorry, terrible football team.
I can see the Sheffield derby being a problem for Sheffield United this weekend.
Okay, yeah. Rick's gone 2-1. 2-1 Leeds win, 1-0 Burnley, Sheffield derby, which would see. I mean, I annoyingly. In fact, no, I'm going to drop that. Yeah, I'm going to put a draw in. I think Sheffield United will take the lead. It'll be Tyrese Campbell 1-0, and then Sheff Wednesday will get back into it. Which, interestingly, would mean that Sheffield United fall outside of the top 2 on goal difference prior to the international break.
I mean, I don't know if I'm speaking with my head or heart, really, with them results, but
yours isn't goal difference. Actually, mine's goal difference. I think Burnley would be a point ahead on your math there.
Yeah. So. I can see it being another good game week. I can see more points being added. I really can. I think we're fretting too much about QPR because of previous years and Saturdays and London and 12:30 kickoffs. I think if we go do the business and go 5 clear, that heaps a lot of pressure on them too. They can't go into their games with a draw being all right. They have to go at it.
Yeah. And then I'm pretty sure as well, the first game back, international. Yeah, I've just checked this. So Burnley have got Bristol City at home, and then you've got Sheffield United with Coventry at home, and obviously Leeds with Swansea at home. So if we're able to get the advantage this weekend and pull a little bit more clear, obviously our goal difference is another point anyway. But if you go into that next one when we're back off the international break and you're able to beat Swansea with our home record, and you've got those 2 playing 2 tough teams, Coventry and Bristol City, it feels like now maybe this could be the point. This could be the weekend. It might not be. Probably won't be.
We could alternatively be not top, and only a point above Burnley.
yeah, and I'm pretty sure we're having this chat before Portsmouth, weren't we? So it's probably going to be something the exact same.
But we always seem to find a way to get our way back to the top.
I thought you were going to say third then.
No, definitely not third. Yeah, I think looking at QPR's form, no Elias Chair, no Les Ferdinand. I think
no Neil Warnock.
Yeah, I do. I think previous years are clouding our judgment about tomorrow.
Of course they are. Do you think any other side, with the greatest of respect, if they've lost 4 on the bounce, do you reckon any other side would be worried about it? It's just us, superstition. Just us.
I'd love to see a QPR show. I'm going to go look for one and see how they're feeling about tomorrow.
I'm going to go look for one.
Because last year at 4-0, I can remember their fans singing, "We'll see you next year." They better not be singing that tomorrow. I swear to God.
God. I mean, is Willock still there? He played. He was unbelievable against as well. Was it Chris Willock? There was Chris Willock and Eli Sher just ran the show.
Yeah.
Let us know in the chat.
Somerville did loads of tracking back that night.
Yeah, I remember you weren't happy with Somerville after we. I think it was that period.
Somerville on one wing and Nonto on the other, and they did absolutely zip. I mean, I felt for the fullbacks. They were 2v1'd all the time.
Yeah,
all the time. QPR's team in the last game against Middlesbrough, where they got beat. Yang, Sato, Colbeck, Morgan, Cook, Dunn, Edwards, Pal, Nardi, Frey. I mean, I'm going to be honest, I don't even know who half of them are.
Arrogant Leeds fans. Yeah, Frey's supposed to be a bit of a talent. Not seen much of him, but yeah, Willock was.
There's no Willock. There was no Willock in the squad.
Maybe he's left. I'm not sure. Yeah, they can't do that to me again. They can't do that to you again. That's, I think, the most angriest I was last season. I was embarrassed. I was absolutely embarrassed.
You were angry. You want to try being there on a Friday night?
Yeah, unbelievable. On Sky as well, wasn't it? 7:30. Willock is at Cardiff, says Oibab. There you go. He was absolutely unbelievable last season. Ran the show. Right. Okay, mate. We'll leave it there. It's been nearly an hour. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Really appreciate it. And obviously, Brownie being back on. I know you all love his thoughts and all that sort of stuff. Guys, we are going to be doing a watch along. I'm not like the great man going down there tomorrow. We've actually got a little schedule. We've got watch along tomorrow, instant match reaction. Then we're going to be doing the Burnley Swansea game on the second channel. We're going to be doing the Steel City Derby on the second channel. And we've got the fan forum tomorrow as well at 7 p.m. So make sure you subscribe to both channels. We've got another video on the second channel today. Link in the description below. Brownie, it's been a pleasure, my friend.
Yeah.
And
hope everyone has a good weekend and it's not spoilt by 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
Come on, lads. Let's keep it going. Leeds at the top of the table going into the international break. Let's go.